What's up, guys? This is Jensen. Welcome to another video. So after Tom Brady signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, expectations are through the roof for this new Buccaneer team with Tom Brady at quarterback. All the weapons he has: Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, OJ Howard, Cameron Brate. That defense looks pretty legit. Shaquille Barrett, Devin White, the middle linebacker, guys like that. Expectations are through the roof. But I know there are some people out there who are not buying into the hype right now, who think that this is just a version of the Cleveland Browns from last year. But I'm here to tell those people, Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to live up to the hype. They are not the Cleveland Browns from last year. And let's start from the top, the head coaching position. Let's look at Cleveland last year. Freddie Kitchens looked in over his head. You can see all throughout the year questionable play calls, so many penalties. The locker room clearly didn't have a leader, and that was definitely dangerous for that Cleveland Browns team, who had multiple guys who were so vocal, guys like Baker Mayfield, Odell Beckham Jr., guys who were definitely vocal, definitely passionate about the game. That was very concerning last year that Freddie Kitchens was a head coach. He couldn't handle any of those personalities. He looked in over his head. It was just terrible last year for Freddie Kitchens. Let's look at Tampa Bay. Do you think that stuff's happening under Bruce Arians? Experienced head coach, won 2 Super Bowls as an assistant head coach. This dude, the quarterback whisperer, one of the most experienced head coaches in the NFL. You're not going to see any of those penalties nonsense with Bruce Arians as head coach. He's not going to be in over his head. He's been doing this virtually his entire life. I didn't have Bruce Arians as head coach. That makes a big difference in comparison to having a guy like Freddie Kitchens as head coach. But let's look at the quarterbacks now. I love Baker Mayfield, but Tom Brady's much better suited to fulfill these expectations for Tampa Bay than, as we all saw last year, Baker was to fulfill the Cleveland Brown expectations. And 2 things that Tom Brady will do better than Baker did last year in Cleveland. First of all, he's not going to turn over the ball as much. As we saw last year, Baker Mayfield was an absolute turnover machine. About 23 interceptions. It was terrible. And I'm a Baker Mayfield fan. I was very disappointed in what I saw in him last year. Tom Brady, even in a down year, threw 8 interceptions. Tom Brady's the ultimate game manager. He takes care of the ball. You're not going to see those insane turnover numbers with Tom Brady. He knows his place, unlike Baker Mayfield, who looked like he's trying to do too much. Tom Brady knows his role. He's going to stick to what he does best because he's Tom Brady. He knows what to do. And Tom Brady comes with the 6 Super Bowl championships, 9 Super Bowl appearances. This dude, unlike Baker Mayfield, he knows what he's doing. He knows how to be a leader of men. He knows what it's like to be at the top of the NFL world. Unlike Baker Mayfield, who, even though I love him, I love Baker Mayfield, he hadn't had any real winning NFL success before, last year, honestly, because when we look at last year, he wasn't even that great last year, but I feel like the signs were evident because when we look at the year before, Baker Mayfield didn't really have any success that we could base upon heading into last year. And we saw it last year. Baker Mayfield, he wasn't prepared for the expectations. Tom Brady's going to be prepared for the expectations. Now let's look at the wide receivers. Instead of the talking duo, Odell Beckham Jr. and Jarvis Landry, these dudes, it seems like they talk too much. It seems like they do more talking than actual production at times. And we saw that last year. Odell especially, it seems like he does more talking than actual production, actual results on the field. But that's why I love the duo of Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. These 2 dudes, they don't care about talking. They just shut up and ball. They put the results on the field. That's what we love to see as football fans. A duo who, even at the wide receiver position where there's a ton of divas out there, these 2 dudes, they're focused on the field. They're focused on putting results on the field. These dudes want to win. That's what I love about this duo. Look at the tight end duo of OJ Howard and Cameron Brate. It's a lot better than what they had in Cleveland with the injury-prone David Njoku. O.J. Howard will fulfill his potential with Tom Brady at quarterback. Cameron Brate's going to be his usual self, the solid option. He's a consistent option. He's a safety blanket. He's going to be a safety blanket for Tom Brady. That's what I like about this offense. And obviously, when we look at the offensive line, last year in Cleveland, that offensive line was one of the worst in the league. It looks like this Tampa Bay offensive line, they're not going to be dominant or anything, but they're going to be solid. They're not going to be an absolute wreck. There's some talent up there in Tampa Bay offensive line. And now let's look at the defense, though. Defense for Cleveland last year looked like the dudes were undisciplined. It looked like more raw talent than actual production. That's not happening under Todd Bowles as defensive coordinator in Tampa Bay. Todd Bowles is one of the most respected defensive minds in the NFL. He can put results on the field when it comes to defense. I think that with the talent they have there, Shaquille Barrett, this dude was the NFL leader in sacks last year. Wide Avea at defensive tackle, this dude looks like an intriguing run-stopping option. We're looking at a guy like Devin White, as I mentioned earlier. I keep raving about this dude. This dude's an absolute stud at middle linebacker. He's an elite run stopper. He's going to be elite for the next decade plus. When we look at the pieces they have in Tampa Bay, this could be a top 10 defense as well as a top 10 offense, especially considering the fact that they still have their first-round draft pick. They still have their draft picks. It's not like Cleveland where they got rid of their draft pick in the Odell Beckham Jr. trade. This team has draft picks too. So when we're talking about the Cleveland Browns from last year and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers from this year, there is no comparison. I don't want to hear that comparison to last year's Cleveland Browns. There is none. Zero. There's no connection between these two teams. Tampa Bay is much better suited to fulfill the expectations. And I was a dude who fell for the Cleveland Browns bandwagon. But looking back at what went wrong in Cleveland and what Tampa Bay has, Tampa Bay is doing it right. Tampa Bay is suited to fit the expectations and exceed the expectations possibly. I think the expectation for Tampa Bay is to get into the playoffs. I think easily they can get into the playoffs, Tampa Bay, looking at the talent they have. But, I mean, we'll see. That's the beauty of the NFL. You never know what's going to happen. Tampa Bay could flame out. They could win the Super Bowl. We don't know, but it's going to be fun to watch. Anyways, thanks for watching this video, guys. Please like and subscribe. I'll be providing more NFL and NBA hot takes as the season goes on, and have a good day. Remember to follow me on Twitter, Jensen Sports, where we'll be keeping track of NFL free agency until its conclusion. See y'all later.